welcome to Pita Party, the podcast. We've got Dani and Lily joining us today. Unfortunately, Alli can't join us today. She's pretty heavily pregnant, so she is a little preoccupied. But welcome back. And today we're going to be talking about travel.
Travels.
The two people who spent our career traveling over the last, I guess, almost 10 years. For me, 9. So you were like 7?
Well, in yachting it's 7, but like I used to be a flight attendant before, and I worked on a cruise ship before as well. So my life has been traveling for 12 years.
I forgot about that actually. I completely forgot that's what you did before. Yeah, so I guess travel is extremely important to us. And obviously Dani has relocated to Sydney, her favorite country in the whole world. I feel like you need to be an ambassador for Australia.
I know, I feel so too. And like the amount of people that be like, oh, come to America or come to Europe or stuff like to leave. And I'm like, nah, I'm happy. Thanks.
I think it's great though. I think it's great that you're able to find the country, you want to live in and, raise Lily. I think, I obviously get asked all the time, where are you going to live? Where do you want to stay? And honestly, the only thing I know is I don't want to live in Ireland. But after that, I'm like, I have no idea. And, it's hard when we're so rich in travel and we've gotten so many amazing travel opportunities. I think you're so lucky to have found your home because we just have so many choices and get to see so many incredible places. That's the thing, isn't it? When
you see so many countries and you know that you have the option that you don't have to live in the country you were born in, it just becomes like, whoa, what? It's too many options. What do I choose?
Yeah, it's overwhelming. But yeah, like I said, I think it's amazing that you were like, yep, Australia's my home. It's where I want to be. So I'm quite jealous of that. I think you've obviously picked a great country. Australia is really... Yeah,
move over here too.
Well,
there's loads of Irishes in Australia.
Yeah, no, I'll find a hot Australian. I'm fine with that. Bit of sun, a bit of surf. You guys will be there. Yeah, I'm down with that. Maybe I'll see you then, as soon as the borders are open, of course.
Oh god, so you mean like in 10 years?
Yeah, exactly. So I guess I don't know where we start. Like, what got you into traveling?
Let's just start maybe like with our favorite countries. What got me into traveling to start with? Like when I was in Brazil and I was a teenager, I always knew I wanted to travel. I always knew, like growing up, I want to see the world. I want to see everything. But obviously my family has zero monies. So I was like, what am I going to do to travel? Like I need to find something that will allow me to do that in a very cheap way. And that's when I started uni. I started going to uni for hospitality, and one of the students have worked on a cruise ship before, and he told me about it, and I was like, oh, that sounds interesting, because they pay for your flight there. You don't have to spend much money. You only have to do your STCW as well. You have to do it by yourself. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And the idea was do that for one contract, come back and finish your school. Never come back. I came back, but never finished the school. Which I kind of regret. I wish I had finished school before. But anyways. But I think because I traveled so much in hot places with yachting, with the cruise ship, I love cold countries. I love cold holidays. I love all the Scandinavian countries.
But that's one of the things I admire so much about you. Honestly, the way you were like, I want to be a nurse. I want to live in Australia. I love cold countries. I can't pick anything. And I'm always so jealous of you. I'm like, you know what you want. I'm like, can I have some of that? Because I love hot and cold. I love the beach and the mountains. Like I can't, it overloads me when people ask me. I'm like, oh, I don't know.
I know, isn't that funny? I think because I didn't grow up on the beach. Like I can't swim. I hate the sand. So I hate sweating. So every time I think about that, it's like, hot holidays for me, it's by the pool with a waiter bringing me cocktails, You know, with a nice hair, nice bikini, and without actually going in the pool.
I love that. But yeah, Scandinavian countries, I mean, I was lucky enough to cruise the Baltic as well, and they're just, I think, you know, they're up there with Australia. Like, they have their shit together. Their, you know, system of life, the way they look after their people, it's so beautiful. I mean, way too cold for me during the winter. But the summers, I mean, they're beautiful summers. Like, you know, jeans and t-shirt weather and...
I've been to Finland for my birthday. It was one of the gifts from an ex-boyfriend, and it was minus 18 degrees Celsius there. Just pretty cold, but it was amazing. It was literally so magical. When we landed there, we landed in the most northern airport in Finland, and we took a bus to this little town, and on the way there, you know, like Christmas trees, the little pine trees.
Yeah.
The roads were lined with it, full of snow, and it was like, whoa, it looks like winter wonderland, you know? And we stayed in those little igloos, glass igloos, that it's like, oh, it was magical. And we did like dog sledding. Is that what it's called? Sledding?
Yeah, sledging. Well, sledging, yeah.
Yeah, we did that. We did ice fishing. We did... Oh, it was...
How long were you there for?
I absolutely love it. I think we were there for a week. Not that long.
A week's long enough. And is it that kind of cold you like? I mean, to me, that's pretty cold. That's kind of verging on unbearable.
I like an adventure. I like going... okay, I'm a bit... I don't like too much adventure. Like, I don't like camping. I hate camping. I don't want to be in the wild. I want to have a proper toilet and a proper shower. But I'm happy to come out and go for a hike and, you know, explore, as long as I can come back to the warm and have a warm shower.
Yeah, I get that. No, I get that. But I remember going skiing in Aspen, and it was a blizzard, and it was our last day, and we really wanted to go skiing. We were like, let's do this. And the powder was just insane. And I remember being so cold and really pushing myself. And like, I think I fell, and I was just so cold. And I was actually like, I'm so miserable right now. I was just wanted to, but because I'd fallen as well, I think I was soaking wet. And it was, the weather was insane. And the powder was just incredible. But like, I couldn't really see because it was so blizzardy. And I just remember being in so much pain because I couldn't feel my hands or my feet, and just being like, I'm done. I'm being like, I don't care how much my ski pass cost me. I need to get down and get a warm alcoholic coffee into me ASAP. So yeah, I think I would like the cold, but I have to be like warm, or else I just get unpleasant. And kind of like with the hotness as well, if there's not a pool, if I'm not near a pool or some way to cool down, I just get grumpy. I'm just not fun to be around. I'm a princess.
I honestly I love like on the cold climates, because you can have a nice red wine, or you know, like a whiskey or a Bailey's coffee or something like that, and it just warms you up. Oh, I just love it. And my second favorite holiday was Norway, which, you know, obviously Scandinavian as well. And I need to visit all the other Scandinavian countries. If anybody from Scandinavia is listening and you want to invite me for a holiday, I'm down.
Sweden is incredible. I loved Sweden.
I really want to go there.
You would like Sweden a lot. It's beautiful. It's a very, very cool country. And Denmark as well. Like, obviously, like Copenhagen, the most incredible city. How fashionable they are. Like, it's just, you know, it's just so funny living in places like London and Dublin and, you know, places and New York that think that they're so fashionable, and then you go to like somewhere like Copenhagen and I'm like, oh my god, their fashion is on point. Like, I was impressed. Like, you could sit there and people watch, and just the trendiest, most beautiful people. I love that. Yeah, Denmark and Sweden for sure, two incredible countries.
Well, most of them are tall and skinny anyways, you know, so it's easy.
And blonde and chiseled. Yeah, exactly. But then on top of it, they've got amazing fashion sense. You're like, really, like, you know.
Is that really necessary? Is that fair?
Okay, so I interrupted. So yeah, so you went on to your cruise ship adventure, and how long did you do that for?
So I did a cruise ship for one contract and I ended up being fired.
Why? I never knew this.
You know why I was fired? Obviously, I lived on a cruise ship and I got fired because of the amount of times I got late to work.
Dani. But you must have been in like your early 20s. Everyone in their early 20s is late.
I was 21.
Yeah.
It was my first time leaving Brazil. I was assistant waiter, such a hard job, you know. My trays were like literally 10 plates trays to carry. And I was like, what am I doing here? My salary was shit. And I was like, meh, I'm coming. And it was so funny because I had a meeting with the captain. And on a cruise ship, having a meeting with the captain is a big thing because there's more than 800 crew on the one that I was which was a small cruise ship.
I was going to say, I was like, yeah, I don't think you probably see the captain very often.
No. But I had a meeting with him because I was late so many times. And I remember he going like, you know, a lot of people want this job. And I went like... I had to hold myself not to smile, but I went like... Really?
Yeah. I'm not an idiot. Being like, I got trapped here.
Yeah. But he was like, I'll give you another chance. If you are late again, you'll be fired. And I was like, okay, cool, thanks. And then like a week later, I was late again.
How late? Oh, how late are you talking late? Like running in 5 minutes or like an hour?
No, like literally 5 to 10 minutes.
That's such bullshit. That's like people... Yeah, people need to... I mean, obviously, we've worked together. I couldn't care less about people being late. Like, I just think the world is changing slowly. And I'm like, if I need Dani, I'll just go in to the bedroom and get her. You know, I'm like, people sleep in, things. It's just one of those things that I'm just so relaxed about. I just...
Yeah.
Especially 5 or 10 minutes. It's like, come on, you know.
Yeah, that was really funny. That was really funny.
Oh, God. So then what happened?
Well, and then I went back to Brazil super embarrassed because I was fired. And then obviously I want to go back to work on a cruise ship because I wanted to travel more, but I couldn't go back on the same company because they fired me. And I was like, oh, how am I going to go back there? And I was going to go back as a salesperson because it's a different company that provides a service for the cruise ship. And I did the whole trauma. I did like the interviews. I passed everything, and I was just waiting to go. And my friend had interview with Emirates, and she invited me to come with her. She was like, "Oh, come and see this." And at that stage, I had only flew twice in my life. I didn't even know what Emirates was. I didn't know where Dubai was. And then I went for the interview, and I ended up passing. And I was like, "Oh, interesting." And it was like a 3-day full-on interview. And I passed and I went to Dubai and I worked there for almost 3 years.
Amazing. And did you get to see much traveling while you were in Dubai or while you were an air hostess? Because I know as yachties we get to see more.
I did because every time I had days off, I would get a flight and go somewhere. And I had this thing, I only go to new countries. There are many countries that I want to visit, but I want to always visit something new. So if I had 5 days off or 3 days off, I would go to somewhere local, like close by, you know, like something that was like a 4-hour flight, because obviously we could fly for free for most countries. And a lot of countries we would stay a day, do a layover. Canada, for example, Toronto, would stay there for 3 days because Emirates only flew there twice a week, I think. And we'd stay for 3 days on a 5-star hotel, and they would give us allowance per day that we were there. So it was like, I used to fly to New York every month, and I used to stay 30-something hours
or is that
in New York.
For work? For work, you'd fly once a month.
For work, yeah. But I would stay like a little bit over a day in New York every time, right in Times Square at the Marriott or something. It was so good.
And that's cool, because even though you're only there for a day, but when you've done it over 3 years... You know, it ends up being like a 2-3 week holiday or whatever it is. And we
get so spoiled because I was like, I'll get my beauty products when I go to South Korea, you know. So I was like, oh yeah, next time I go to South Korea, I'll buy more. Next time I go to New York, I'll buy this.
South
and it's like,
Korea's big on my bucket list. They are another seriously trendy fashionable people.
No, they are ridiculous. They are amazing. I
Like,
think the prettiest women in the world are South Korean.
They are beautiful. And by the way, when I get 1,000 messages about my sunglasses, they are Gentle Monster and they're South Korean because they are the leaders in beauty. Yeah, because they're smoking hot and have ridiculous fashion sense and the most classy plastic surgery. Like, that's somewhere, if I didn't get my boobs done in Ireland, I mean, I highly recommend my surgeon, but I don't think Ireland is the best place for plastic surgery. But if I could go back, I love mine, but if I could go back, I would have gone to South Korea. I think they are the leaders in plastic surgery.
I think Thailand is with all the
really?
ladyboys and
Okay.
stuff. Yeah.
South Korea is pretty up there.
Oh.
But
I think
I'd love to go to South Korea.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing, Daisy. I went to, you know, the Gangnam neighborhood from the song The Gangnam Style.
Yeah.
And I remember being there and it was ridiculous. It looks like a bunch of dolls walking around, literally. It's
And
like,
you know what else is super cool about South Korea? Their drinking culture.
oh yeah, what is it like? I don't
Oh
know.
my god, they can drink. Like, they can drink more than the Irish. They're hardcore. Because obviously most Asians, they like can't really drink.
Yeah.
They're just so tiny and little, and their drinking culture isn't as prominent. South Korean, like, more hardcore than the Irish. And one of the things I love
That's
about
crazy.
South Korean culture is they cheers for everything. So if you go out for dinner with a bunch of South Koreans, like, every time you get a new meal, they cheers. Every time you get a new drink. So in one meal sitting, you'll cheer. Like, they're just like very happy. Like, drinks will always flow. Like, no one cannot be having a drink. Like, it's cool. Like, go out for dinner with a bunch of South Koreans. They will show you a party.
Oh my god, that's amazing. No, I loved that. And you know what? Again, I like my luxuries, but I love road trips. I love road trips. I love it. Like in Norway, we drove for 10 days. But the thing is,
Wow.
Lily thinks I'm talking to her, so she's talking to me. I can't drive, right? So when we go for a road trip, somebody else needs to drive. I will learn how to drive one day, I promise. But luckily my ex-boyfriend loved to drive, so that wasn't a problem.
Which one's this?
we
The
were-
Australian one or the Irish one?
Yeah, the Australian one.
That's right.
And we didn't have a plan. We just knew we're gonna go from here, and we're gonna go. Wait, south, south from where we were, but we didn't book any hotels or anything. We just drove, and it was absolutely amazing.
Wow, that's cool. I've only done one road trip, which was in the US. We drove from, where did we drive from? We flew to Vegas, spent a few days in Vegas, and then we did the Grand Canyon and drove all the way down to San Diego, me and a girlfriend, during yachting. And yeah, that's the only road trip I've ever done. And I loved it. Such a beautiful, we did the whole like convertible Mustang and didn't plan anything, and, stayed in, just kind of went to each different town, and I absolutely loved that. It was really, I would definitely do a road trip again. The States, I think, would be a cool place to do. Like, I've gone on boats as well, up like in Maine and things like that. And I'm always like, if you had a boyfriend driving around Maine, I think, in that kind of part of North America, just so beautiful. It's just, you're sitting in the car, driving all through these woods and forested areas and all the hiking. I was like picturing myself with a boyfriend. I mean, it was hard to do, but I did manage to imagine some sort of figure.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll do that one day.
I would love to do a cross country in America from one coast to the other, and on an RV, a luxury RV.
Yeah. I mean, as well in
Guys-
Australia, like the outback and stuff like that would be cool.
Yeah, but then like the animals would kill you. So
That's true. That is true. If not the like crazy people who live out there, like in that film. What's that scary film?
yeah. If I was doing an RV trip around America, cross country around America, I would get a gun. I'm sorry, gun control people and stuff, but I would not feel safe driving cross country without a gun.
Oh Jesus, we're gonna get all the anti-gun people on. Oh my god.
I know. I'm sorry. I don't want to kill anybody. I don't think guns should be easy, but because it is so easy, I would be so scared.
Yeah, it is scary. So what led you then into yachting?
Oh, a boyfriend. Like, honestly, apart from the first, literally, that's how I ended up in Ireland. That's how I ended up in Australia. So I dated an Irish boy. The Irish boy that I was dating in Dubai, he was a chef in Dubai, and he had done a season yachting before we met. And he,
I think so. Wait 2 seconds. Sorry. Sorry.
What was that, room service?
Oh, it's my friend Lucas. Say hi, Lucas.
Is that the guy you post pictures on Instagram all the time?
Yes, this is not my boyfriend. Come say hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Oh, there's a baby.
Yes, that's Lily.
It's my baby. Say hi.
Sorry.
So
we were
tell
rudely
us who
interrupted.
is this friend, because everybody thinks he's your boyfriend, and I was thinking he's your boyfriend as well. I was like, does Daisy has a boyfriend?
So many of my friends messaged me being like, update please. I'm like, please. I'm like, the minute I have a boyfriend, the world's gonna know about it. Don't you worry.
Oh god. Anyways, where was I?
So you're
So the Irish boyfriend. He was a chef, and he had done a season in yachting before I met him. And he was in Dubai for 5 years, and he was like, I'm tired of Dubai. I don't want to, done everything that is to do here. I want to go somewhere else. And he was like, come to France and let's try and find a job on a yacht. And let's do that for a season. And then we have money, and then we move to Ireland. And I was like, sure, why not? Sounds like a good plan. So I just quit Emirates, flew to France. I had already my SSW from the cruise ship, so all I needed was my NG1. I did my NG1, did a lot of dock walking, and when I was in Cannes, dock walking, I got an interview on the same day on the old port and at the new port. And the only reason I chose the boat I chose, it was because they were paying 200 euros more in the salary, because I had no idea what was a good job or not.
And was it a good job?
Oh man, my first season I cried so much.
Really? Why?
Oh my god, because I was laundry and housekeeping, right? It was a 55-meter yacht, and I was laundry and housekeeping. And these 12 guys, they came for a 1-month charter, and they turned the main salon into a gym. Like, they paid to remove everything and put gym equipments there. So imagine 12 guys full of muscles, protein shakes like 3 times a day or something. And they were in Ibiza before. I know, right? And they brought all their dirty laundries, the dirty clothes from the trip, for me to wash. And I was like, I just can't do this. I went to the captain. I was like, I just don't think I'm doing good for yachting. I just can't do this job. I'm really sorry. I need to go home.
You weren't working with your boyfriend at that stage?
No, we couldn't find a job together. Everybody told us that we wouldn't be able to because I had no experience. So we didn't even really try. But it was like, there was one day I was under the ironing board, sitting under the ironing board, crying my eyes out, and the chief still walked in, and she's like, what's going on? I was like, I just can't. I don't think I can do this job.
It's hard. If you can power through, like, I've had a lot of friends that's happened to. I'm like, wait, just get through your first job, through your first season, and it will get better. Like, just so many people have done that and told me, like, the chef in my old boat, he was like at the worst first boat, like people told him, we were like, just stick to it, take one more job. And he was this close to leaving for good, and he was like, fuck it, I'll give one more go. And then, he's still 5 years later in the industry, and probably will stay in it for a long time. And it's so crazy how many people you're just like, just stick to it, one more job.
After the first season, I didn't want to go back. I was like, fuck that, I'm not doing yachting anymore. What the fuck is that? How people do this? This is stupid.
That's so funny. So I guess we've digressed. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess what's like your favorite countries you've been to? The worst country?
Oh, I feel like it's controversial to say the worst country. Maybe we can say something
Maybe
that
your worst experience.
would be like, I hate that country.
Maybe your worst experience in a country.
I mean, we all know that Daisy doesn't like Americans, so we know where her bad experience.
I love America. I have spent so much time in America. It was a joke. No, I love America. I don't think I would live there. I think maybe in New York, or maybe if I've met somebody and they felt really strongly about living in America. But I do love America. Like, I've been all over America, from Alaska all the way down the East Coast, all the way down the West Coast, Hawaii. I'm going back there.
What's your favorite part of America?
Oh, that's hard. I mean, I think the cliche, like, I love New York and I love California. For me, they're two, like, I always get super excited when I get to go back there. I love everywhere in America, but they're my two. Anywhere in California, like San Francisco, I'd love to spend more time in San Diego. All down like Santa Barbara, Santa Monica. It's just beautiful. It's just fun, kind of surfer vibes. I enjoy LA. I love it all.
Yeah, no, I love it. I really like spending like holidays in America for sure. I loved Alaska. I haven't been to Hawaii yet, which I really, really want
Hawaii is cool. Oh, I think you'd like Hawaii because Hawaii is like, it's a great mixture of beach, but there's also so many activities like hiking and surfing and snorkeling, diving, but then they also have like a rich, like, high-end restaurants, like amazing shopping. So I think you would like it. It's it's definitely got a bit of everything.
But just so people know, I'm still poor, but I like glam, which is a big problem.
Sure, why do you think I'm still in yachting? I'm like,
exactly.
I really don't want to do this anymore, but I also really like my clothes and my makeup, so, and my cocktails.
I know, like, stayed in super expensive hotels and did amazing holidays because of yachting, And what do you want to go next, Daisy? What is your dream destination?
I have, I love to travel, but I think for me, a few places that I'm going to say 3, which I know is greedy, but South Africa, I've wanted to go to for a long time. So many South African friends. I've only heard incredible things. South Korea, one of my best friends is South Korean. Again, just heard incredible stuff. And also, I really, really want to go skiing in Japan. Another, big thing on my bucket list. So there are 3 holidays I'm going to really try to get to in the next few years while I'm still yachting and I can afford it.
Yeah.
But we'll see. What about you?
I love Japan. I've been a few places there, but I've never been snowboarding. But because now I'm so close, the first place I want to take Lily snowboarding is Japan. That would be so cool.
Oh, really? That is cool. Oh, so you are really close in Australia?
Well, I mean, we are kind of close to Asia.
So how many hours flying?
Don't ask me how far it is because I have no idea, but I know it's...
Sorry, I'm just asking for some water. Yeah, I guess.
But I love Japan.
It's quite far. I'd love to go. I'm jealous you've been.
And I think actually Japanese guys are cute. I have a thing for Japanese guys. Isn't that funny?
Ooh, any Japanese guys listening? Hit Dani D up in your DMs.
Please don't.
You probably get it.
I cannot even think in a boy right now. But my dream travel, it's explore a cruise in Antarctica. It's like, it's not luxury at all. You're probably not shower for the whole time, but you get to stay in the ice and actually do some like explore things. There is actually one that it's only for women, and they follow the steps of the first women explorer to explore Antarctica. I can't remember her name now. I should have written now to say it, but it's so cool. But it's quite expensive.
Maybe you can send the link or something to anybody who's interested. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And put it up
it's
on the...
so cool.
My sister...
I'm probably going to do like a little... I'm gonna do a little fund now to save money and do that for my 50th or something.
Yeah, I love that. My sister.
Yeah, because then Lily's gonna be 17 and she can come with me.
Nice. My sister is in yachting and she has just left Antarctica. She was there about 6 months ago on her boat. So I'll post some
That's so
photos
cool.
of my sister's photos as well. It just looked incredible. It looked so beautiful. I'm so jealous. So I think there's some they're two good things, Dani. Well, one of them we can combine, the snowboarding in Japan. Two of us can do that and tick off the bucket list together.
Yeah.
And the trip in Antarctica sounds incredible. You should definitely put up the link for anybody who's interested in having a look.
It's such a cool thing. And have you seen kids snowboarding? Have you seen Stormy, Kylie Jenner's daughter?
So
It's the cutest
cute.
thing in the world.
So where's your favorite place you've ever been to?
Oh, Finland for
Yeah.
sure. Finland and Norway.
Oh, cool.
And yours?
I think for me, because I'm more of a beachy person, I think the San Blas Islands by Panama, and also French Polynesia. I mean, you can't describe the color of blue to anybody. Like, until you see that with your own eyes, you're like, I never knew the sky could look like this. I never knew the water could look like this. I just fell in love with it. And, you know, when I thought about leaving yachting, one of the things I thought about, I was like, but I might never get to go back to French Polynesia. And then I was like really sad. And I was like, oh God, what if I don't get back there? Because it's so, from LA, it's kind of easy. It's, you know, their local, like our south of France kind of thing. But from Europe, it's so expensive, so far away. But yeah, have you been?
No, I haven't. I haven't been there, and I've been to the Maldives like for 30 seconds, so it doesn't even count because I joined a boat in the Maldives and I didn't get to see anything. I just joined the boat there, so it doesn't really count. Yeah, literally. But when I was in yachting, because, you know, we have money, my dream honeymoon was a week in the Maldives and a week doing a glam safari in Africa. But both of them are so expensive.
Well, this
I'll have to choose one now if I get married. I can't do both.
Unless you marry someone rich. That happen.
I highly doubt I'll marry anybody anyways.
You might get rich being a nurse. Who knows? Do the lotto. Just do the lotto.
Fancy nurse.
When I was younger, and I wasn't that young. I was like maybe like 24, and my parents were going.
I mean, apparently that's not even an adult yet. That's
I know.
what people told me a lot.
Time,
They're 24 years old. They not even take responsibility yet. Anyways,
my parents invited me on a. I was living in London, so I was working and stuff, but I was still used to them paying for stuff for me. Like my dad was still paying my phone bill and my rent.
Yeah.
And they invited me to a safari in South Africa. And in this like amazing 5-star place, and I think it was in Botswana. And
oh, so nice. That's exactly where I want to go.
so they were like, you can come, but you have to pay for your own flight. And at this stage, I'm only coming into adulthood, and I lost my shit. I was like, who do they think they are? They're such assholes. So I refused to go, and I took that money that I could have spent on the flight, and I ended up going skiing with my friend just to spite them. Now, I had an amazing time with my friend, but that is one of the big regrets I have in life. Why I couldn't put my teenage, even though I was actually 24, my teenage pride aside and pay for the bloody flight and gone to this 5-star game reserve in Botswana. But there we go. I had an amazing
that's
ski holiday.
literally a dream.
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet you regret it. I would regret it too.
Oh my God. Any teenagers out there, don't do anything to, spite yourself. You're going to regret it.
Yeah, no, I have two things to say to teenagers. Go to college, finish uni, and enjoy your parents' money as much as you can.
It's funny. Yeah, exactly. It's funny because me and you obviously kind of had the same outlook in life, because I ended up studying hotel management because I wanted to travel so badly. My dad is an ex-yachty, and he was like, you should go into, because I was lucky enough that I got brought up with my dad's stories, and his traveling, and I was born in France, and we moved to Antigua. And, you know, holidays were a big thing in our family. But I was like, I want to travel, and he's like, go into yachting. And I honestly pictured myself in the Navy. Like, I was like, that sounds so shit. I was like, why would anyone want to do that? And I couldn't hear what he was saying. So he was like, fine, if you don't want to go into yachting, what about studying hotel management? And I was like, that sounds much more reasonable. So I went and studied hotel management, got my degree, moved to London, was like, this is shit. I was like, I work so
Work
hard.
Sunday to Sunday, make no money.
Oh my God. I was like working underground because it's in the city. Oh my God, it was awful. And my dad was like, it was 2 years later and we went skiing. And he was like, Daisy, I'm telling you, you would be perfect for yachting. So I was like, fine, I'll look into it. And I was like, oh my God, this is not the Navy. I was like, this looks amazing. So that's how I got into yachting. I went down to Antibes. But yeah, me and you obviously had the same idea. Some people, that's just, you know, it just depends what you want in life, whether it be, you know, money, success, travel, a family. But it's funny how, yeah, if people want to travel, they end up, you know, I think hotel management and tourism is a great, you know, finding basis and to get into some sort of travel job. But yeah, I'm like you. Traveling is just, it just makes you so rich in so many ways. You know, obviously not financially, but in other ways.
Quite the opposite way, but anyway, it's priceless.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I feel very lucky.
And also hospitality, you can work anywhere, and it's so easy to get a job in that area. So like if you go, like I've been traveling a bit, and like in Ireland, I was studying, and you know, from yachting, the only transferable skills you have is to hospitality, and people still don't even quite understand what you do. And then you can get a job so easily. You can work in a pub, you can work in a hotel, and you know, it's a great thing to know, to have experience if you want to just travel around.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, very transferable skills that can kind of, you can use in all sorts. And obviously you have to be good with people and very open-minded. It takes a big kind of brave person to work with people and to just immerse yourself in different cultures. And, you know, like you from, you know, Brazil, and having been on 2 flights and becoming a flight attendant, you know, and you get that in yachting. So many people join yachting and they've never been on a boat. And I'm like, that's insane.
I don't think I've ever been. I was going to say, but that's a lie. I've been on a cruise ship, which is but it's huge. But before that, I didn't.
That's not like Parsival.
Not the same at all.
You were like, why are we on our side? Oh my God, Dani hated sailing. See, again, I'm always like, oh, whatever. I'm like, motorboat, sailboat, but Dani knows what she likes and what she doesn't. She's like, I hate sailboats.
Oh man, I miss traveling. I can't wait to travel again. As soon as we can travel, I really want to do something cheap, like a week away in Bali or something with Lily. Just go to the beach, or even if around Australia or something, like just her first little travel, just the two of us, you know?
Oh, that's lovely. You will soon. As soon as COVID goes. I know. I've been so lucky. I've been able to travel so much, but like I'm going back to London. I was partying till 7 a.m. I totally missed my PCR test because I was fast asleep, and I'm so stressed today. I was like, oh my God, I'm flying in 24 hours. Now I need to I'm like, can I get a PCR? Can I get an antigen? It's just so stressful. I'm like, it takes all the fun out of traveling. You need all your documents.
And traveling with your masks as well.
I have a whole Ziploc of travel stuff now. I've got my Siemens book, my vaccination book, my hand sanitizer, my mask, my, you know, PCR. It's like literally a little bag. And before we used to have a passport, which was stressful enough. And now I need, whenever I fly, I'm like, my vaccine book. Oh my God, my PCR test. I'm like, it is so stressful.
I forgot my passport once flying out of Barcelona, and I realized halfway
I think you told
halfway
me
to
this.
the airport, we were in a
back.
taxi.
You got it back, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
And you made the flight.
But so fucking stressful.
It really is. Yeah, like when is the day? I was listening to a podcast the other day and I was like, when is the day that everything's going to be a chip in our mind and they just look at our eyes and everything comes up? I'm like, cannot wait for that.
Even
day.
on your phone. It can even be on your phone. Like, why can't we just beep our phone and something?
It's so weird. It's so old school. It's just...
In my defense, the passport that I forgot was the one with my American visa, not my actual passport, because my American visa is on my expired passport.
Okay.
So it wasn't my actual passport. I'm not that bad.
Well, I think we've ran out of time, but anything else you want to share before we go?
No. You know, if any hotels or any travel agents are listening and want to, you know, me to give a shout out to them, just, you know, pay for my tickets and my hotel, and I'm happy to.
I love it. Yeah, give your review. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about this topic again because we could go on for days about, obviously, me and Dani have traveled spent probably half of or at least a third of our life traveling.
Yeah.
So yeah, anything anyone wants to know.
And there's so much to talk about, so many stories.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm sure we'll talk about this again. But, you know, now you have seen how Dani got into travel, I got into travel, and some countries. Yeah, and this is Lily telling us, please stop talking.
I know. It's time to finish.
Well, Dani.
Well, thanks, Daisy.
Yeah, thank you. And we'll chat again next week. But as always, feel free to DM us any of your travel stories and anything like this. And we will see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Duh.